We've heard of the state capture of parliament. I'm personally so happy to see this wonderful, almost like to call you remnant, the remnant of sit our 13th parliament. Ndindi, so refreshing to hear you. And Karole Omondi, so refreshing to hear you. Even you have dug deep into history, the history of Safaricom itself. And Makali Mulu, you see, if you rise to the occasion as my sister has suggested, you will be able to save this nation and make it different. And you know we are there with you. Ndindi Nyoro, I said in Bondo the day before yesterday, I'm just about to speak it out, so at least it okay. It need so that a country will know. And you're almost there. Because the chair of the budget committee, because I'm not quite sure he's still there, but you've done a good job as member for Kiharu for sure. But now you have to do the extra thing. Bring it out. Because then that will torpedo you to the next level. We all know where we have come from. And now we are witnessing a dangerous trend. The rushed sale of attempted sale of critical national infrastructure and strategic assets. Here I'm referring to Safaricom, and we have all heard about Safaricom. The JKI, which we were able to stop in court. Kenya Pipeline, among others, done without transparency, without public participation, and without any regard for the Constitution. Let me say this clearly and without hesitation. This is truly unacceptable. It is unconstitutional. And it will not stand. And we will not allow it to stand. So come out. Some of us are as simple as you see us. When we say it, we say it. And let me also be crystal clear. Countries do not prosper by selling their inheritance. They prosper by protecting it. Kenya will not become the Singapore, quote in quote, imagined by the current regime if that Rutopreneurship and Rutobotomish continues and is left unchecked. You cannot auction off to yourself what belongs to the people. Singapore was built on order, on discipline, on accountability, and a fierce intolerance for corruption. Not the chaos, the carelessness, and the impunity we're witnessing today. I hope that those who are talking about Singapore will have read in some detail the wonderful action, writing by Lee Kuan Yew, the Prime Minister of Singapore, who was there to shape a nation that moved to become what Singapore is today. Ladies and gentlemen, public finance is a public trust, and every leader at the national and county level has a duty to defend that trust. After all, you've all been there swearing that you uphold the Constitution as by law established, and I want to tell you, a lot of you, particularly those who belong to the state capture team, are already in breach. In fact, it is perjury in law. Perjury. Swearing to stuff you don't believe in. This culture of budgeting with corruption already baked into the process clearly must end. And now we have heard from Ndindi Nyoro, apart from the budget, they want now to do it outside the budget so they can now compound the stealing, the thieving. And it will end. And those who have turned budgeting into a personal enrichment scheme will be held to account. That I can promise you in the next administration. We must also push back against the shrinking of civic space. A confident government listens to its people. It does not intimidate them. It does not order for the young ones to be shot on the legs. If we are serious about rebuilding trust and restoring fiscal stability, several actions cannot wait. Number one, according to me, a transparent, fair, and people-centered debt restructuring process. Secondly, a parliament empowered to provide genuine oversight because the executive cannot supervise itself. And right now, that is exactly what is happening. William Ruto gets out of the 13th parliament everything he wants without even blinking. Number three, protection of our oversight institutions. The Auditor General and Controller of Budget have said these are two wonderful ladies that have done this country proud. And of course, I want to add their EACC. And this must be ring-fenced and protected from political interference. Number four, deep reforms in procurement and public investment management to end the cycle of inflated contracts, ghost projects, and the sheer waste. And fifthly, a credible, transparent approach to privatization, one that respects public interest, not a hurried disposal of national assets. These steps are not about politics. They are about Kenya's survival. And with regard to the big problem with the Safaricom, you know, there are times that some of us are also now dealing with Safaricom, being used as an institution that was oppressing Kenyans. That apart. Because if you hear it from the Americans, they say, yeah, we work with Safaricom to work for regional security. We have the problem in the Horn of Africa, yes. But Safaricom were not supposed to be assisted by those external players only to end up hurting its own citizens. That's a different story. Now, the real story is Safaricom belongs to the people of Kenya. And it cannot just be auctioned. The share, and Ndindi Nyoro, I know that I think I used to read that you're one of the majority shares at Kenya Power and Lighting. You started this practice in year one at university, so you have a lot of experience. But if the Safaricom share is sold at face value or undervalued, we all know there's a big cut. What Carolo Mondi even calls free carry, maybe free carry and that kind of thing. Somebody is about to steal big time. We will stop them. And therefore, Wakili Njiru Ndegwa and the team, we have a team assembled of a team of 100 advocates to move to court and to stop this nonsense about selling without public participation of this national asset. Dear friends, as we head towards 2027 general election, I reaffirm my commitment to a Kenya where public money is treated with dignity, transparency guides decision-making, corruption is confronted and not defended, and national assets are safeguarded for future generations. Have we not even heard that we are stealing even from the region? Just imagine we are getting gold from Darfur. That is blood money. We bring it here tonight, a JKI is repackaged, given under rules of origin, it becomes Kenyan gold, exported to the United Arab Emirates, and that is used to fund the war effort in Sudan. Today, the world is carrying at the largest humanitarian crisis, where those Sudanese, some of them, if they are lucky to cross into Chad, right? If they are lucky to, and others starving to death, even getting shot, even in the hospitals. What are we doing as a country? We never used to be this way. We were the custodians of regional peace and security. We are never involved. Over the years that I was the Minister for Foreign Affairs and dealing with bringing peace to the region, the negotiation of the Comprehensive Peace Agreement, which gave rise to the world's newest state, the Republic of South Africa. The problems in Somalia. There are times I even said with the late general I did to make sure that Somalia does not continue becoming a problem. Because as long as Somalia in the region is a sick neighbor, we can never be free as a country. Because we never choose our neighbors. And we had to work hard. But now we are working hard to inflame those situations, to make the region even a lot more unsafe. Even when we remove the D from IGAD, as it then was, Intergovernmental Authority on Drought and Development, dealing only with nziges, locusts and things, we converted it to Intergovernmental Authority on Development.